Man, I got the podcast game on my back right now. Joe Budden had Tasha K come all the way out to Jersey and do a multiple-hour interview. She was happy about it when I seen her, and he's not dropping it. He's scared to death of Cardi B. He's scared to death of Offset. He don't want to have another run-in in the mall with the QC goons like he did. Remember, Everyday Struggle was actually really entertaining before QC told him that he wasn't allowed to talk about their artists anymore. And that's when you saw him really simmer down, brought the temperature down a whole lot. But, I mean, if you're Tasha K and you went all the way to Jersey to do an interview that when I talked to her, she was real happy about the interview, and he's not dropping it because he's scared of Cardi B. Like, what kind of shit is that? That's not why I got in the podcast game. I didn't get in the podcast game to be running around acting like a hoe. Hoe Budden, you acting like a hoe, and nobody respects it. Your fans are losing interest because you're not keeping it real. I think now, more than ever, it's important that we support real, independent media. Because as you can see, even a podcast like the Joe Budden podcast, which for a time was a symbol of independent hip-hop media, it has been co-opted by the deep state, Cardi B and Offset, the deep state. And, there's no coming back from that. For me, it's kind of disappointing, Not only is this guy like setting his hosts up against each other and trying to create all this internal drama, basically copying No Jumper, but now he's scared to drop like real legitimate interviews with powerful black creators. Man, that's a sad situation. I don't even know what to say about it. The great have fallen and 22 is on the rise. So if you want some real content, you know where to go. YouTube.com/NoJumper. Go check out that Tasha K interview. Joe Budden was too bitch made to drop his. Boom!
Ladies and gentlemen, brace yourselves for an intellectual odyssey through the tangled web of podcast politics, as illuminated by none other than Adam22, the maestro of No Jumper, in a scathing indictment of Joe Budden's recent actions. In a blistering Instagram live session, Adam22 laid bare his frustrations and concerns, setting the stage for a riveting critique that will leave no stone unturned. Adam22, with the audacity of a seasoned orator, declared that the podcast game rested squarely on his shoulders. He wasted no time in skewering Joe Budden for a perceived betrayal of trust. He claimed that Joe Budden had lured Tasha K all the way to the hinterlands of Jersey for a marathon interview, only to hoard the content and withhold it from eager audiences. The accusation that Joe Budden was scared to death sent shockwaves through the digital sphere. Drawing parallels between Joe Budden's alleged trepidation and Cardi B's apprehension, Adam22's rhetoric soared to new heights. He insinuated that Joe Budden feared a reprisal akin to Cardi B's infamous run-in with the QC goons. This analogy served as a potent indictment of Joe Budden's willingness to engage with his subjects openly and honestly. Adam22 then delved into the annals of podcast history, invoking the memory of Everyday Struggle, a show that once crackled with the electric energy of independent hip-hop media. He contended that the quality of the show diminished when Joe Budden was purportedly muzzled from discussing QC artists, insinuating a decline in authenticity. With the eloquence of a seasoned statesman, Adam22 urged his audience to support independent media, emphasizing the importance of genuine and unfiltered content. He lamented the alleged co-opting of the Joe Budden podcast by what he termed the deep state, a reference to Cardi B and Offset, and declared that there was no redemption from such a fall from grace. Adam22's impassioned discourse reached a crescendo as he decried Joe Budden's role in sowing discord among his podcast co-hosts, a strategy that he likened to a replication of No Jumper's success. He went further, castigating Joe Budden for allegedly withholding legitimate interviews with influential black creators, an act he deemed as sacrilege in the realm of independent media. In this tempest of words and ideas, Adam22 left no emotion unexpressed. From anger and frustration to deep disappointment, his discourse resonated with the profound impact that the podcast arena can have on the human psyche. His words struck a chord, resonating with those who yearn for authenticity and transparency in the digital age. As the crescendo of his oratory subsided, Adam22 delivered a rallying cry for his own platform, No Jumper, proclaiming it to be on the ascendant. He beckoned viewers to partake in real content by visiting their YouTube channel and reveling in the Tasha K interview. In a parting shot, he branded Joe Budden as too bitchmade to release the withheld content, a damning indictment of Joe Budden's alleged departure from the tenets of genuine independent media. With the intellectual precision of a seasoned detective, we shall navigate the labyrinthine depths of podcasting history. First and foremost, we must acknowledge that podcasts, much like living organisms, undergo metamorphosis as they adapt to the dynamic landscape of